If you've been following me for a while, you probably have noticed that I've been experimenting with different DIY chicken feeds and finding ways to feed my chickens without using the feed store. And if you're new here, you're probably about to find out very quickly how very obsessed I am with feeding my chicks without the feed store. So I've been experimenting for a while, and at the end of the day, the goal and motivations behind this is not only to become more self-sufficient and not need the feed store, it's also to save money. But to be honest, I don't always look closely at what I'm actually paying for these rice and beans, which is the main diet that I've been using for these laying birds you see behind me. And I've got several other videos talking about feeding them rice and beans. If you want to check those out, I'll leave links to those above and below. I've spent some time crunching the numbers and have realized that this is actually a super affordable way to feed your chickens. As the title suggests, I've discovered that I'm feeding my birds for less than $1 a day. In fact, it's far less than $1 a day. It's actually come to 66 cents per day that I'm feeding 10 chickens behind me rice and beans. So in this video, I'm gonna quickly just break down the numbers on how I've been able to do that and how I came to those numbers. So these numbers I'm about to read off to you are based on bargain grocery store prices, which is where my family and I try to shop to save money because, as you know, the prices are going up at grocery stores all over the country, and the less we have to spend on food, the more we have at the end of the day. So here we go. So I got a 25-pound bag of organic whole grain brown rice for $17.99. That comes to 72 cents a pound. And honestly, ever since I found that bag, I haven't been able to find another deal like that on organic rice again. So that if you ever find a deal like that, just scoop it up right away, because it's hard to find deals like that. I also got pinto beans at different prices. And I got different bags with different amounts of poundage, but the total pounds came to 22 pounds that I purchased, and they averaged 89 cents per pound for the pinto beans. So here's an important number to remember when feeding rice and beans for your chickens. So 3 cups of dry beans will equal 1 pound, and 2 cups of dry rice will equal 1 pound. Which means that beans at 89 cents per pound, I'm going to be dividing that by 3 to get 30 cents a day, because I'm only feeding these chickens 1 cup of dry beans and 1 cup of dry rice. So beans, 89 cents divided by 3, about 30 cents a day, and the rice at 72 cents, divide that by 2 cups, comes to 36 cents a day. So 36 cents a day for the rice, 30 cents a day for the beans, comes to 66 cents for the prices that I paid for the rice and beans. It also means that that 25-pound bag of rice that I got would feed 10 birds for 50 days. And just multiply it by 2. And the 22 pounds of beans would feed my 10 chickens for 66 days, because I'm multiplying that by 3. Knowing that I'm feeding them 1 cup per each day. So I found that that is the sweet spot. 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of beans, dry, and then I cook that in our Instapot for 30 minutes on high pressure, and I fill it up almost to the top level, so I can give them also all the liquid that gets cooked in the rice and beans. They can eat that too. I follow a lot of homesteading groups and chicken accounts on Instagram and things like that, and it's like an ongoing joke that having chickens literally saves you no money. People just enjoy having them. But with a diet like this one, you might actually be saving money on buying them at the store. The downside to doing this kind of diet is that it requires a lot more planning on your part. It requires more work. But being more self-sufficient is just more work in general. So you have to know that going in. If you're trying to pursue a life like this and try to live frugally as possible, so you don't have to depend so much on working so much for other people and spending your time doing that stuff, this is the kind of things you have to do. You're going to have to work somehow. So I guess it's like you choose your hard, you know. it's going to be hard no matter what you do. So you get to choose that. And this is something, for me, I choose to do the hard things, but it's on my terms, and I'm okay with that. It would be easy to buy feed from the feed store already made for you, but to be honest, I still like to keep that stuff, the feed from the feed store. I choose organic when I do that. I'll get an organic layer feed and just keep that in my shed until for times when we go away, like we just did for Christmas for a day or two. And it's nice to be able to put that in a feeder for them, so I'll know they'll be okay for a day or two if I have to go away. But yeah, you have to be here every day to make that feed, and that's something that I do every morning. Before I even make my coffee or make my own breakfast, I put in a batch, 1 cup of rice and 1 cup of beans in the Instapot for 30 minutes on high pressure. And I do that before I do anything else, so that I know, especially in winter where they really need it, they're getting a hot meal with hot liquid and hot food and high protein every single day that's fresh. The motivation is, if I don't eat, then I get grumpy, and I need to make sure that I feed them very good so that they're happy and healthy, so I get eggs and I don't get hangry. Obviously, this isn't their whole diet. This is the main base of the chicken's diet, and a very cheap way to go about making a very cheap diet, an easy, simple diet, 2 ingredients. I really like that for the chickens. But that's not the only thing I'm going to feed them, and I'm going to touch upon other things that I have fed my chickens and am currently feeding my chickens. One of them, a big supplement to this, is black soldier fly larvae, and I get ours from Grubterra. And if you're interested in Grubterra's black soldier fly larvae, click the link down below. I have an affiliate link to their site, and they have really awesome deals on black soldier fly larvae. And if you click my link, you'll get 10% off when you check out at their store. So definitely check that out. They love black soldier fly larvae. I give it to them almost every day. Kind of something I try to do in the afternoon to give them a little protein boost, especially now in the colder winter months. I like to give them a late afternoon snack to help them stay warm at night when it's getting a little bit colder. Helps their bodies warm up a little bit, and gives them protein and some other good vitamins and nutrients in those bugs. I also have been feeding these chickens right now in these colder winter months. I left a lot of my green lettuces and radishes and turnips in the ground. I never got to harvest them, but the chickens are still eating those greens off of those plants. And even though they're not the prettiest looking now because we've gone through a couple hard frosts and freezes, it's still okay for the chickens. So that's something that I'm giving them every day out of our garden, is just a couple handfuls of fresh greens, because that's an important thing for their diet. And that's something that I'm actually planning for this coming season, this coming year. I'm planting a whole garden just for my chickens, and I'm kind of excited about it. I made a whole plan for it. I ordered a whole bunch of seeds for it, including wheat, amaranth, squash, corn, all these different things. I'm going to be growing specifically for the chickens to try to extend how much I could grow to feed them on my own here without having to go to the feed store. So if that's something that you're interested in too, please subscribe to our channel for more. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please do that. Also, if you're interested in DIY chicken feeds, I made a free guide including my top 3 ways, my top 3 DIY chicken feeds. It's a little how-to guide. It's free. Just click the link down below to get that free guide if you want to try to make your own whole grain organic chicken feed, how to source the grains, how to divide it up to get the right protein percentage for your chickens, how to do this rice and beans diet, how to even feed your baby chicks without the feed store. I'm going to put a whole guide to that, and I have a video on that coming up soon as well. But if you're interested in that free guide, click the link down below and I'll get that sent to you right away. All right, that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.